Alright. What's up, everybody? Ladies and gentlemen, we've got Clem in the top left side of the map playing the best of 5 weekly cup finals against MaxPax in the bottom right. This is, of course, from the weekly 209. And I'm just happy to see MaxPax out there and rocking it. He's been on a bit of a roll lately. I have heard his PVT got really good against some of the Korean players recently. Unfortunately for him, he's not playing a Korean player. No, normally, that's a weird statement, right? Because normally you'd think Korean Terrans are the best possible Terrans. Clem there fumbling his workers on and off gas a little bit. But this is Clem who's been dominating. And I don't think there's anyone who can argue that Clem is the best player in the world right now. His, obviously, verse Zerg is nigh unstoppable. But he's also been crushing in TvT. I mean, he's got big victories over Maru, over... Hero, repeatedly. Repeatedly over Hero, Clem, I feel, has beaten him. And, you know, not to mention all the European lads as well. Beyun has been struggling with Clem. Everybody has. So, MaxPax, nice block. Oh, this is a really good block. That was a great block. Does block it nicely. He's got the Reaper wall at home, and he's going for a bit of a cheeky Zealot pressure. Not a bad way to start things off. Now, I am curious to see. Clem is going... wow. Can you believe it, guys? Clem is going for a Marine into Factory into really fast reactor. Well, color me surprised. What a surprising tactic as someone who had the joy of playing against Clem's reacted Factory openings the other week in the Weekly Cup. It's such a joy, and I say that with audible pain in my in your ears. Because it's so hard to play against. He's so good with this opening. Sometimes he proxies his starport and drops 4 Hellions in your base. Other times, he rushes 4 Cyclones across the map. Sometimes it's just a few Widow Mines into a quick drop. There's a lot of variations he has, and it's hard to figure out exactly which one he's doing. And look at that, super quick bunker there. The Zealot can definitely deny command center building for a little bit. Oh, he blocks the SCV. Good micro by MaxPax. Clem, he wants it to build on this right side. He's like, don't go to the Zealot. Don't go to the Zealot, so he has to keep telling it to halt construction. I like that the Marine's chasing the Zealot, however, not too far, mate. Ooh, he saves the SCV into the bunker. And the Marine gets in there as well. 2 Marines and Alien are on the way. No starport just yet. That starport's been a bit delayed by the harassment, so good on him. And he gets the SCV there. Trying to get extra build time is Clem. And he wants to stop the shields regenerating. That's why he's trying to move this Marine out, but it might be a little bit risky. MaxPax almost gets it, not quite. And the Zealot, the 2 Adepts coming in. Clem doing such a good job with his micro. That SCV does go down. The Zealot barely gets the hit on it, though. And you know what? This has been great harassment. It's so annoying because it's hard to get actual kills with this because his micro is so insane. Mr. Clem's, that is. But he even gets the Hellion. I think that's worth losing the Adept. Behind this, we've got a Twilight going blink, Robo second gate, and he's looking for a third base. I love the start here for MaxPax because Clem's been distracted and busy with that. His medevac drop's going to be a little later than normal. You've got a bit more time to squeeze in a third. You've seen Hellions and Marines. You haven't really seen a Cyclone or a tank or anything. So you don't feel like you're under threat as MaxPax here of Clem just like rushing across with 2 tanks, 12 Marines, and killing your third base. It's been a very good start for him. Very successful pressure. Oh! Well, there we go. He does lose his map vision. That kind of sucks. Where's his observer at, guys? His Robo is not quite finished, so... he's going to be blind for a little while, is MaxPax. He's up 10 workers, though, and that in itself is quite good. Second barracks starts up. Third barracks has not started just yet, and we've got the tech labs on the factory and starport. Do we see a standard Raven tank here? Looking like it for Clem. Clement. 2 Widow Mine drop going towards the main. Now, what's great in the meta between MaxPax and Clem is Clem actually doesn't really drop with this much anymore because he's always worried about the Stalkers being in position, and I mean, Blink is ready now, so... Blink does finish. There's only 4 Stalkers out, though. You do need 5 if you want to 2-shot the medevac. That's 5 Stalkers there. They're not actually close enough to blink on. I think he's expecting the drop to come in on the natural, if anywhere. 3 Stalkers moving out. The medevac veering around. He knows the pylon can spot him. He's just going to check the third base, and it's finished. Clem gets confirmation that MaxPax is being a greedy boy. He knows he's not getting 4-gate blink, so he immediately is like, okay, we don't need more tanks. We need stim. We need shields. And the Raven is out as well. Don't think the pylon has seen this. So MaxPax doesn't know about the mine drop. He is simply playing safe against it. Raven catches the observer. Chunks of that observer do go flying up into our camera. Engineering bay almost complete. Third gateway going down now, as well as whoa, Widow Mine drop. Okay, now this is where normally I'd say use... no. Okay. finally that Widow Mine does target. Clem is so annoying there. I dislike the not pulling off gas against this, personally. I feel like it's dangerous because if you pull a probe and it hits, like, it can kill like 3 or 4 probes if it catches like 1 or 2 of the other ones, plus the 2 that are mining gas. MaxPax, I mean, I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable in my games. MaxPax has this habit of it very rarely killing those probes, so he seems to understand the details of it on a very technical level. He's going mass charge right now. 3 gas into 8 gate. We may see a Robo Bay and a 4th gas at some point in the near future. MaxPax is pretty good at going heavy into charge, but then seamlessly kind of just starting to slowly step towards Colossus Tech at the same time. Raven comes in on the right side, gets deflected by the Stalkers. So far, units lost tab is ahead for Clem, but Clem is stuck on 2 base. Clem's on 45 workers. MaxPax is on 61. 4 Stalkers enough to one-shot a Marine since Combat Shields isn't done. And he gets one of them, but a little slow on the blink there, and 1 Stalker does float to the top of Oceanborn. Oh, Stalker on the right side. Oh. Losing Stalkers in the middle of the map is so costly, man. So costly. Stalkers do pick off a Marine. Oh, he goes for another one. He's got to be careful there. Stim is available. Clem being very patient on that Stim. No concussive available, though, so he's not able to slow these units down. A tank, a pack of bio, and mines there. Auto turret comes in on the natural. He's going to take out at least 2 probes. Make it 3. Gets 3. Nicely done. Widow Mine drop in the main base. Stalkers do some damage to it. He tries to run the probes away. Oh, get out, get out, get out. Okay, Blink is not ready, so he will lose this. No, he just shoots a probe. Interesting. Okay, Zealots do take Widow Mine hits. Siege Tank does get some shots off. Good pullback for Clem. Clem needs to leave right now. Whoa, Zealot dropping his main base, but he's not pulled back on the front just yet. Okay, 3 SCVs do go down. Clem, he's got a 3rd command center 3/4 of the way finished. He's up in supply right now. These units lost. This is always the scary thing I find in this whole back and forth with the Protoss is like defending the harassment, doing their own harassment, and worrying about a frontal push. The best Terrans, like Clem, have found a way to simply just take better trades throughout all of this. And speak of the bloody devil! Oh no, he didn't realize that the armory had finished, so MaxPax didn't realize the Widow Mine was still there. It gets 5 kills. And guess what? That cannon isn't going to be done in time. It's going to get another shot off, I think. Oh, that could be a bummer. It's going to be close. It's going to be very close between the two. I think it will. Looks like over here, another Widow Mine did get taken out. But look at the units lost tab now, guys. It's 1,200 resource difference. And oh my god, he's going to lose even more units here. 6 more probes go down. MaxPax had such a good start. But the quick armory, this is a move 4GG used to do every game on the ladder, and it gave me nightmares, man. His frontal push would be hitting you. You'd think that's like an all-in, and then he'd just like pull back with it, and there'd be armory Widow Mines in your main and natural, and you'd be like, oh gosh, and you wouldn't have any detection. He'd have scanned your observer and killed it. Second Robo is on the way, as well as a Dark Shrine. Colossus are building. I like to see this 6-gas transition out of MaxPax, not going for his, you know, quicker 4th base, just single Robo style. Being a bit more Robo-centric. He's going to move forwards now. All the harassment units have at least finally been cleaned up. Those force fields, yeah. Well, he at least baits the Widow Mine, but that Siege Tank raining a bit of death on his units. Siege Tank's going to unsiege. Clem's going to try to get out of there. The Widow Mine unable to fire. It didn't have high ground vision, guys. That was the problem for Clem there, as his army did pull back. 4th and 5th barracks are producing. He's been playing a lot of this 4 Tech Lab stuff. I think back in the day, I remember Euthermal was a big fan of this, where everyone, the standard is 3 Tech Labs, 2 reactors, and Euthermal felt like Colossus kill Marines so hard, he'd rather just have more Marauders. And against a mass Zealot Archon army, I think you really do want more Marines to kill the Zealots, for sure. But in general, this is actually a more noob-friendly army, and it's funny that the more noob-friendly army, because I used to say to people, hey, if you just don't like the Marines, Heavy Marauder Ghost, as the game goes on, probably makes more sense. It's a little less fragile to Storm and Colossus. To see the best Terran in the world with the most ridiculous control start to concede this point recently and go, you know what? I'm just going to play almost pure Marauders and then Ghosts as they come in. There's going to be some Marines from the early game, but it's basically just 1 reactor pumping Marines the entire game to get a little bit of that extra raw damage output. MaxPax has a 4th base on the right side. Armor's on the way, as well as +3 attack. Cannons and batteries going in on all those bases. The Raven is still here, and it's juiced up on full energy. So he could come in and spam auto turrets and kill a whole bunch of workers, but cannons will make it a little costly to do so. Observer goes down in the middle of the map. Clem's on 2-2. He's got a 4th command center. He's going for 8 barracks now. He does only have 1 starport, but he's got 7 Vikings to deal with the 3 Colossi. And I've been talking a lot, ever since MaxPax mentioned this as a suggested balance change, that the Viking attack point got changed. So they're basically better move and shoot units since about a year and a half ago. And Clem uses that better than anyone. His Viking micro is ridiculous. It feels like even when he's playing against the best Protoss players, they just can't really get that much damage on those. But look at this, Dark Templar drop. I like the EMP usage, but actually he doesn't finish it off. The DT survives. DT's in the 3rd as well. There's no turret there. He's warping more in the main. Another DT in the main base. The one in the natural is re-cloaked right now. Oh no! Clem is actually taking a lot of damage. That ghost almost goes down. The DT goes down in the 3rd. The one in the natural is still alive. He EMP'd it. He got it to 1 hit point. He has to EMP it a 2nd time to take it down. 16 workers fall. And what a lovely little bit of harassment there. I normally don't agree with sending a Prism in when the Terran army is at home. Unless their army is like out on the map, I'm like, is it really worth it? And Clem was not that far out on the map at that moment. But here we go, Disruptor Transition on the way. I like that MaxPax is mixing this Disruptor Transition in. Harstem has shown great success against Clem with it, despite arguably being, you know, a little bit lower class of a player than him. No offense to Harstem. Clem's just ridiculous. Colossus, Stalker, Zealot doing really good. The problem is it's a small map, and he's pushed back like that. So it's hard when the siege units get in position, but Zealots do some good damage. Zealots can kind of ignore planetaries a little bit if you shift-click the SCV. So he killed 2, but then he didn't shift-click enough, unfortunately. Disruptors coming forward. Already 1 Colossus went down earlier to the Vikings. That tank on the high ground is doing so much damage from up there, man. Clem's got a great position. It looks like MaxPax, as his battery's kind of out of juice, his army's got almost no shields on it. Oh, Stim running out was scary, but Clem's reaction speed is so quick. He's just barely dodging these shots. Another Colossus goes down. Oh, MaxPax is in the doo-doo right now. He's up Poo-Poo Creek without a paddle. DT's in the 3rd and the natural. He's getting some damage done there. The Marauders are going to get in the bunker and they will eventually take it up. But no, the turret goes down. Scan has to go down as well. 8 more SCVs do fall. I like that he's keeping Clem busy. I feel like the big thing we've seen recently is Terran players, every time DTs come in, they just spot it, instantly stim, EMP, kill them. And you're not able to really force reactions out of the Terran, which means the APM is free to do other stuff. But with Blink DTs running in from all sides, he gets a turret again in that natural. He's got him in the 3rd as well. There is a new turret up behind the mineral line in the natural. Looks like those ones will go down, I believe, to the EMP in the 3rd base. That turret behind the mineral line, hard for the DTs to focus. And Clem does have to micro to take that out. He has to pull his army back from the front at the same time. Where's his Vikings? His Vikings have pulled home. So it looks like his army's overstimmed, though. He's got to be careful. He needs to build his medevac count back up. That tank is going to go down on the front. That guy's just got abandoned due to being busy with the DTs. And oh, he's left his Vikings up here as well. Clem, pull those bad boys home, mate. Observers out on the map as well. I love these observers have been replaced. I think the best thing about 2 robos is you basically always have a robo building observers and you just keep setting them up. If you can see where the Terran is, it gives you a massive advantage in PvT. And it's something that Zest, a few years ago, was the best PvT player in the world, or very close to it, often. And he was a big problem. His main strength was his observer usage. It sounds like such a trivial point, but man, vision is so important. And Zest was the king of observer positioning. MaxPax, I think, has learnt from that over the years and tried to pick it up. He's going to move over to the right side. Shields and +2 armor on the way for MaxPax. He's up 20 workers right now, so he's done a great job of rebuilding his worker count. The problem is, because he lost that 4th, you know, he's got the 5th up the bottom. He's trying to get back to 5 bases. Who gets it? Oh! Clem with the hot pickup saves the ghost. I mean, Clem wants to pounce. You can tell Clem's horny right now. MaxPax needs to get out of here. MaxPax, you can tell Clem is so horny. He wants to force a fight. And you got to not move into the surround. Yeah. Good micro by MaxPax. He's trying to lure Clem into this choke point. Clem's not taking the bait, though. Clem doing some good in and out micro of his own. The only thing we could criticize Clem for here is the fact that he doesn't seem to have a fusion core yet, right? Just started. +2 ship weapons is already on the way. 3-3 as well. If he can get range libs, it's a game changer. Only 1 starport on the map right now, but 2nd starport did begin building. Unfortunately, it didn't continue building for some reason. Looks like it maybe got interrupted by a DT or something. Oh, here we go. Disruptor shots looking for the opportunity. Prism on the north. He's going to go get a Prism inside Clem's backdoor. Clem never built turrets in his main, and that's a bit of an oversight because at this point when you're maxed, you don't have any units popping out. So if there's a Zealot warping in your main base, it's actually quite hard to deal with, not to mention DTs. Prism's there. Oh, hot pickup. Hot pickup to defend the main, including an EMP. Clem's micro is ridiculous. Who hot pickups that quickly, gets inside their own main, drops an EMP on the Prism, and almost kills it with Marines? Like, ridiculous. His army's a little smaller here right now, though, than MaxPax because of those units still being up north in that drop. Those are trying to move across the map. He runs forward on the right side, clips a Disruptor shot on the left, but only a single Marauder. 2 Marauders go down to that Disruptor shot. Oh, I love this. The way MaxPax just moves to the left to isolate that army, the majority of the army on the right. Clem pops a stiffy, gets way too excited, and goes into a bad fight. That was a really good fight for MaxPax. And you can tell that because we often see MaxPax losing being down 10,000 resources in the units lost. He's only down 3,000 here. He's closed that gap in a few of these fights. +2 armors now done for MaxPax. 3-3 finishing for Terran. Advanced Ballistics, that is the Liberator range upgrade, for those who don't know the fancy names. Fancy. Drop inside the main base. Marine, Marauder, and Lib could deal with it, but Clem hasn't noticed just yet. And DT down here at this base as well. Looks like he takes out that one. Lib's trying to siege up, but uh-oh. Ghost's dying, Marauder's dying, and he's going to need to scan at the same time. He's getting jumped on at the front. His army's pretty damaged. Guys, he doesn't have that many medevacs with this army right now. He's got units coming back from the right side, but they're not all together. He's losing units. That DT was still alive there. 7 SCVs do go down. Libs are cleaning up some of the units in the main base, but there's a lot. He's even warping in Stalkers to try to kill the Liberators. Is MaxPax, and MaxPax going for some nasty maneuvers there to try to keep the chaos going, and he's making Clem so busy. This is that rare position where the Protoss is actually able to dictate where and when the fighting happens, and you can see how different the outcome is in this scenario. That orbital is burning. I'd love to see MaxPax click on that to finish it off, but it looks like Clem's too busy. It's going to burn down anyway because he's in survival mode. The Prism in the back somehow survives in the midst of this. More Disruptor shots trying to land. He cops a few of his own Zealots there. Zealots and Disruptors, guys. Imagine being a melee unit in World War I, but every single time you charge, your friendly artillery decides to fire on the exact same position that you're charging. That is the life of a charged Zealot in a Disruptor-based army. It's a selfless act. I'm telling you, if you sign up for the Zealot Corps, you're a bigger man than I am. I would never even consider it. This army's looking pretty bare, though. I mean, I like Disruptor shots here, but he needs to move south. MaxPax has no support. He has no support. His army's so small. Oh, the Disruptors. He's losing all of his Disruptors. This is a big overstep for MaxPax. Clem's money is so low, though. Does it even matter? Clem's actually lost so many workers. He doesn't have the massive orbitals up. He's making the energy upgrade right now for his medevacs. He's equal army supply, but he's down 30 workers. And if MaxPax can defend this base in the south, he will be good. But right now, this is a big overstep by MaxPax, losing all of his robo units that spend so long to rebuild. If you don't have a Prism on the front, the moment your army gets to a few Zealots, a few Stalkers, 1 Immortal, and 8 Disruptors, you get the hell out of there. Because those Disruptors can only cover you when you're retreating through a choke point. If they're chasing you through a valley, you can drop that artillery on them. But otherwise, it's not going to be able to defend itself. You don't have enough raw fighting units. Zealot, Stalker, Colossus out here on the map. MaxPax still trying to maintain map control, but with a smaller army. Oh, man. 2 Colossus getting taken out. They're going floating up there. Oh, Planetary Snipe on the top, though. That is a 14 Blink Dark Templar attack. Now, some people, they say let's go for 6 or 8 DTs. 14, and that means, and one of them died to a Widowmine, so that means it was 15 Dark Templar to start. MaxPax is leaning into the old school Dark Templar harass like a savage. If Clem could catch that with a pack of Bio Ghost, it would be such a high value trade for him. But MaxPax has got his army busy on the south. That Nexus is still not being taken out to the bottom left. So many SCVs going down. Liberator harass cleaned up on the right side. He desperately needs to do something to keep MaxPax back. Battery overcharge does come in, though. I feel like Clem has to go take this base out in these probes if he can't get rid of that. MaxPax income is out of this world. DT's coming in, though. If he can catch that, that'll be big. He's got to save the planetary, though. He's got to save it, but he won't be able to. All the planetaries go down. Knocked on down so hard. The Dark Templar just flood of DTs. And this is so crazy because I feel like this is what late game PvT was a few years ago when Terran was complaining about how unfair it was. It was always, they were on the back foot dodging Disruptors, and then while they were trying to barely hang on against that, DTs would just run in and kill all their economy. But MaxPax has somehow recreated this. He had a good start, but then he took a bunch of damage that I didn't expect him to, so I'm not 100% sure on the details that allowed him to do this. But I am happy to see him mixing in some Disruptor variety and not just sticking to that single robo play that he's famous for. Liberator's trying to siege up here. Pretty good fight angle for Clem, and I think a good choice for MaxPax to back away from that. DT in the north. More DTs in the main. How is this Prism still alive? I'm gonna have to watch this replay and see, is that the same Prism that got recalled from the top left corner like 5 minutes ago? I think it is. Finally, some Liberators will take it down. But it's just, he's just forcing Clem's attention away from his army. And remember, every time Clem has to look at that, you'll notice a pattern. His army has to run all the way home. He has to just disengage because he can't micro at home against DTs and Prisms and dodge disruptor shots at the same time. Even Clem is actually immortal, guys. Even he is human. But MaxPax is stretching him out with the Prism DT harass. That's the big secret to success in this game. It's why Clem is always getting forced backwards and unable to set up the big surround on these disruptor armies. Where are all his Liberators right now, guys? He has 6 libs. There's one sieging over there, one sieging over there. He is killing a lot of probes, but his army is small. Oh, big balls landing. Big balls landing. MaxPax drops Trout, turns around, and he turns Clem's face inside out. Youchies. Base in the top as well. That orbital with a mine, a lib, a turret. It's barely hanging on. Clem comes forward and takes out a disruptor, but he's so outnumbered. He's got to be careful. The upgrades aren't half bad for MaxPax either. 3-2-1 there with +3 armor on the way. Oh, he's going to try and zone the army and take out the command center, and he does. The disruptor's unable to land, but that's okay. He's got a zealot on the bottom base. There's very little income for Clem right now. Clem realizes MaxPax still has these 2 edge bases, and that's going to be that. He has to tap out. I think the Liberators may have been cleaned up as well. There was a Phoenix here with 2 kills, so it does look like the Liberator cleaned it up. MaxPax with a splendid game 1. Let's rewind and see what happened to these libs, guys. Was it just the Phoenix? Okay, so that one was in range of the Stalkers, and then the top one was still denying that base, but he had a full mining base down here. Lots of minerals there. So MaxPax was still in an excellent position. Really, really well played by him, and fantastic to see MaxPax showing he can still play this kind of old school disrupted DT style of PvT. All right, that was a pretty slick game 1. MaxPax in the top left. Now going into Equilibrium, his map pick against Clem in the top right. Ooh, very good map for him. Pig, you said DTs and disruptors aren't very popular. Why? It's an older style. Why aren't they popular? Why don't they work anymore? I'm not sure if it's they don't work. We just don't see it very much because I think mostly because players don't get to that stage. But MaxPax managed to get enough money. Like you know the moment where he was like, sorry, I'm kind of like deliberating exactly how I'm saying this. So basically, the moment when those 15 Dark Templar came in, you got to realize each Dark Templar has 125 minerals and 125 gas. So I'm not going to be able to do the numbers because I'm not good with numbers. You guys do 15 times 250 resources. It's like a few thousand minerals and gas. It's a massive investment in stuff that's not going to help in a frontal fight. So you need to like already be in enough of a, I think, solid position with your army where you're not constantly in danger of dying. Apparently it's 3750 resources according to chat. That's a crazy amount of minerals and gas, guys. Almost 2,000 minerals and 2,000 gas. Like, that's insane. So it's hard to get that much spare money to go snipe some expansions, right? So that's one of the first problems. I would say part of what set MaxPax up as well is the first Dark Templar drop was just great. And then the Blink Micro with it as well. He just basically did a really good job of harassing with a few zealots here, a few zealots there, like he normally does, but he also, with his prisms, he just got more done than he normally does. Now, I imagine Clem's going to shut the prism down a lot harder in a future game. Keep in mind, I mean, MaxPax was hiding in the back, a Viking would come over, he'd recall it, he'd come back and do it again. There was a lot of things he did correctly, and oh, he's going for the gold nexus. This is a nasty build, man. Very quick factory for Clem. He's going to go reacted. I would assume Hellions or Cyclones to try to punish this. It can be quite hard to defend as MaxPax, because you got to defend a main up here, and then look at the distance. We're all the way zoomed now, all the way. You got to come down around this choke or around the left to defend this gold base. And Clem knows about it. Let's see what Clem does to answer this. They should add it to a best of 5 where you get to save resources from one game and bring them into the next game. Yeah, no, we should have a tournament where there's like 50 maps, but they're arranged in a campaign map. And after you win a map, the next time someone invades you on that tile, on that map, you get to keep your buildings that you built there the last time. You don't get to keep the army, but you get to keep all your buildings. And then but they get to invade with an army, so they get to like start clearing through your buildings and like sieging you, and you got to use that to buy time while you build up a defensive army. This sounds like a great competitive tournament, Twitch chat. You guys are blowing it out of the park right now. Amazing ideas. Campaign map tournament where it's a Total War StarCraft. Different factions invading different territories. It is 4 Hellions into a starport. He does need to do damage though. Keep that in mind. Don't drop a mule on the natural. Drop it in the main. This is why you always drop mules in the main with your first energy on the natural. Oh, the SCV gets right past. That's lucky. Hellion can do some good damage there. It does slightly outrange the Adepts. They do 4 range, I believe. Yep. Hellion has a bit more. Hellion's coming in here. Shield batteries are good, but of course the Hellions will start taking them out, man. Oh, if he can stack up those shots as well. The battery can't heal fast enough to heal all of them at once. Getting 3 probes. Can he get blocked? Oh, I would have liked to see MaxPax A-move those probes to block him. Gets 4 probes. This is a really good start here for Clem. Hasn't lost any units yet, but he is losing mining time. So we could definitely point that out. And oh, these Adepts are going to get a few SCVs. MaxPax gets 2 SCVs, but he's kept all of his Hellions alive for now. Problem is he's lost a bit of time, a bit of momentum. He's got to keep going because there's already 2 gate blink up. 3rd and 4th gate on the way as well for MaxPax. Oh, I would build that pylon here. Personally, I'd be very worried about losing the battery and the gateways if that pylon goes down, but Blink's going to give him really good micro ability. Double Cyclone drop goes towards the main. The Hellions need to go heal up. I guess he could save them and try to run in and kill gold dudes, but definitely a massive income advantage right now for MaxPax. I do wonder if there's a single gas opening you could do, because I feel like 3 gas, like he's got so much extra gas to what he can even spend right now. Here we go. Double Cyclone drop going towards the main. Stalkers are ready for it. Blink's done. You got to be careful here, man. He's going to focus the Cyclone, and he could blink on this, but MaxPax realizes, hey, that's a bit dangerous. Oh, he's going to go for it. He's going to take out the Medevac and the Cyclones. Worth losing 1 or 2 Stalkers for this. It only takes, 7 Stalker shots, I believe, to take out a Cyclone. Getting that one shut down. A Hellion goes down also. Looks like he only killed 1 more probe. Clem's in trouble. Clem is in trouble, guys, because he hasn't done that much damage, and his stims just started. Is he, though? It's equal workers. Maybe he's not. It's the purple gas and the gold minerals give such a big boost. I don't know. I personally find it hard to calculate, but 6 gold minerals and a purple gas, 3rd base coming up. And MaxPax definitely has control over the game now. He's not got more workers, and his income's pretty even. It's what can MaxPax do with this 2-minute respite? Because it's 2 minutes until stim shields and +1 really starts turning into a scary potential medevac bio attack for Clem. In the meantime, can you probe up? Can you maybe take a 4th? I think a 4th down here would be a great idea. Can't afford it just yet. Going Forge and Robo Bay. He's missing 1 worker on gas. Hopefully he does fix that. There we go, he does. Ooh, gets the bunker. Forces a turret out. Oh god. Wait, is there no tank? Where's the tank? Tank was up in the main base. Oh my god, is MaxPax just gonna kill him with 4-gate blink? Dude, he's got to be careful. The Stalkers are taking a lot of damage, but he loses like 1 or 2 Stalkers, gets rid of 10 Marines, a bunker, gets the auto turret out. Great start to the pressure. These 4 Stalkers are going to pick off a bunch of SCVs as well. 4 more workers go down. Lovely engagement. 3 Hellion drop gets in the main base. The shield batteries, though, in every base are so good against these Hellions. The Hellions are enough to one-shot probes now. He could take out a few of them. Clem, nice damage, but there's a blink in the main coming in. He's got to be careful. He gets a bunch of workers. 7 of them go down. The medevac, unfortunately, does lose that 3rd Hellion, which means he lost his lethality. More SCVs going down. I think this is just 3 or 4 more workers so far. It's stacking onto the other harassment. Stalkers in the natural at the same time, though. Great harassment coming in here for MaxPax. He blinks out of the main base. Pulls back with those guys. He's only lost 3 Stalkers. It's huge. This might be game over. I mean, the Hellion damage is the one thing keeping Clem in this game right now. The Hellion damage has kept the worker count very close to even, but with no 3rd command center started, a 3rd finished and fully mining, 8 gates, Colossus, Dark Shrine, +1. The tech is getting out of control. MaxPax has so much tech right now. Stalkers in the middle, though. Oh, they're kind of derping out a little bit. They do spaz out. These guys on the south are going to recall. Looks like finally the Hellion drop does get cleaned up. The medevac has to go home. These Stalkers getting chased. Marauders concussive shells kicking in now. But those Stalkers are already out of there scot-free. Well done. 3rd command center still hasn't started. This feels almost like an all-in for Clem. Does he pull the boys and go for it against 2 Colossus? That'd be a terrible call. I think he needs to start that 3rd command center. Clem, he's trying to get some momentum going. He doesn't realize just how much army there is out here. That being said, if you get rid of this Artosis pylon, get rid of the Tasteless that's building next to it, that would be a good idea. Marine Marauder Tank Widowmine coming forward. These Stalkers will blink back. We've got a medevac in the south as well. Double medevac dropping in the main base. No, he goes in, he goes out. Clem, a wise choice as those Stalker warp-ins are pretty hefty. Widowmine on the front does kill a Stalker with its splash damage, even though MaxPax did the fancy blink micro. Siege tank, though, exposed in the open. He does pull back, doesn't want to chase too far, and a Raven is going to get rid of that Observer as well. I think that's the second? I thought it was third. But second Observer goes down. Fourth Nexus coming up. Now remember, guys, these gold minerals mine out really fast. So you need a quicker fourth and sometimes fifth base off the back of this. But because Clem's MaxPax has been trying to get Colossus out, he's not there yet. He's only on 56 workers, but he's got a giant army. The Colossus beams are scary. Oh god, is there Matrix? Oh, there's no Matrix. It's just anti-armor missile. So he can't shut down the Colossus. I think MaxPax army is decent, but dude, +2 damage against that is massive. +2 damage from that anti-armor missile makes a big difference. The Widowmine's the tank's trying to move forwards. The Marauder's trying to move left, but Clem is outnumbered. He's outgunned. And with no third command center, he just runs into a brick wall of defense. That gold base is savage, man. GG, well played. All right, MaxPax is on a roll right now. He is killing it. Up 2-0 on Clem. One more game to finish it. Clem is going for a hidden barracks. That's interesting. I trying to force a bit of a response, trying to freak him out a little bit without actually paying much of a price. Because you can still just build a reactor there, wall off with your factory, and it's fine, especially with a double gas build. Super cool if you hide the factory as well, and you make him think you're like completely all in. You're not, is he going to do that? He's got the money for the factory. Where is it? Okay, I'm just getting blocked by the probe. Does delay the factory by a few seconds, so good probe harass so far. MaxPax just going to rotate in that main. This does usually give the Reaper a confirmed kill, because they're not expecting the Reaper to pop into the main and kill it so quickly, so even if MaxPax wanted to recall, he won't do it in time. You'll see that Reaper hunting him down. Stalker first. There was a Zealot into a Stalker. Probe goes down. So the Zealot will probably try to go across the map and pressure a little bit. But behind this, Warp Gate's on the way. Looks like a Twilight Council opening. 15 workers on minerals, 3 on each gas. And he's going to chrono a second Stalker immediately, already waiting at the ledge to intercept that Reaper as it jumps in. Command Center has started up on the natural. The Zealot is really slow to get out here, though. Interesting. I feel like if that Zealot was arriving right now, it would actually cause real problems. But MaxPax kind of dawdling on building that Zealot. It's a later Zealot. It's more of a scouting Zealot, I think, than anything else. Alcyon's an interesting map. You do have gold bases available, but they're incredibly exposed. And there is no purple gas on it. It's not like that crazy equilibrium base. Oh, yeah. That timing on the Zealot, not very effective. Gets one hit on a Marine. Not particularly useful. Oh, it is Stargate. Whoa. Whoa, I was not expecting the delayed Stargate. That's a very late Stargate, guys. That Stargate went down at like 2 minutes 40. So it's not a quick one. Is it going to be just straight Phoenix from here? Yeah, Phoenix are starting up in the production tab. And Reaper, oh, he gets a probe kill with the bounce. Bounces the probe away from the battery. Nicely done. A very light Cyclone Marine pressure. So you got to be careful, because if the Cyclone gets picked up, you can be in trouble. But with the early reactor, plenty of Marine production coming in, and a Widowmine drop is on the way. Now, this really feels like a blink opening from Clem's point of view. I even thought it was a blink opening, right? Until I noticed that Stargate. So this is actually really good bait by MaxPax. Go multiple Stalkers, make it look like a really generic kind of blink opening by not using any Adepts. And then he's pretty likely to go for a drop against you. You can kill that with the Phoenix, and then you've got a massive amount of momentum. You can catch the Terran's first pressure. It's always great for you. Robo on the natural, third and fourth gas. So it's going to be Phoenix Colossus. Second barracks on the way for Clem. Now, how do you fight back in this game as Clem? He's already building a siege tank so early this game. I mean, it's not that crazy fast. But he's building a Viking as well on a Tech Lab starport. Interesting. He seems to want to exert some pressure, wants to make sure there's no third. He sees that there's a Phoenix defense. And this at least forces shield batteries on the defense. The Immortal only now starting, though. That Immortal's pretty late. Stalkers and Phoenix definitely can defend with the help of the batteries, I believe. 2 Stalkers, 3 Phoenix might not sound like a lot, but you add 2 batteries for healing, battery overcharge, and of course Clem doesn't know when that Immortal might pop. Widowmine damages a Phoenix. They can pick it up and take it out. He's going to use the Stalkers. That's risky. Yeah. It looked like MaxPax was flirting with the idea of saving the lift energy. And he's like, yeah, probably don't want my Stalkers to get killed. Let's not move out right now. Another Widowmine on the left as well. Third barracks is building. Second barracks landing on the tech lab. And we've got another Cyclone building for Clem. That's a weird choice. Clem is playing very aggressive right now, but this is so odd that he's building another Cyclone out of that tech lab factory. Guess he just wants a little bit more anti-air, feeling like he's a bit light on the anti-Phoenix units, but those units don't scale well at all. Oh, great Phoenix catch. Good pullbacks on the weak Phoenix as well. As long as MaxPax doesn't lose any Phoenix, this is an amazing trade for him and a great pullback timing, but one Phoenix does go down. Still good for him, I think. The Reaper's somehow still alive there. If I were at MaxPax, I'd definitely let him shoot it, and he does. He lets the Immortal land the shot, but he misclicks. Oh gosh, what are we doing? Looks like something just went in there, maybe? I'm not sure. Phoenix are out 5, about to be 6. 2 Immortals and a Colossus starts up. Third Nexus is finally beginning here. The Units Lost tab tells us that it was a pretty good trade for MaxPax. On the other hand, he doesn't have a third Nexus up. And second Phoenix goes down to that Widowmine finally. I was waiting for a long time for the Phoenix to fly over it. They finally fall into its trap. Extended Thermal Lance going down on the Robo Bay. Bit of an extension for the Daddy Longlegs lasers. And Marine Marauder banking up on the other side. I'd like to see Clem take a third on location. Phoenix players are usually quite turtley. So I think, you want to kind of push out there, build that third on location. It's interesting that he's built 3 missile turrets. Now, the reason that's peculiar is it's a very defensive stance, 3 turrets. And yet he's not missing a beat on unit production, which tells me he doesn't care about taking a third super fast. He just wants to be aggressive. The thing is, attacking into Phoenix Colossus is so difficult. Third Command Center finally does build. I guess if you're not going to stay at home to guard it, it does make sense to build it in a safer position. Yet despite that, the Phoenix say, what does safe mean? Safe is relative, mate. They pick off 2 Widowmines, a Marine, SCV building the Command Center, and Marauders popping out now as well. And this kind of forces you to get something done. A great recall for MaxPax realizing I need more support at home. Oh, Clem's going for the YOLO Marine run by, but this Colossus might be popping at the perfect time. Because look, he's going to push at the front, distract him, and then those Marines are going to stim in from the left. They want to kill that whole mineral line. This Colossus, it might be out just a little too early. He pushes in the right, distracts the army. Marines running in the left. That's the real surprise. And he pulls him out of position. Marines go in there. They're starting to kill these probes. 4 probes do go down. He's going to go into that main base as well. There is a shield battery there. There's also a lot of Phoenix nearby. Back at the front, the Colossus are defending. They're defending. Hold. Looks like he does hold on. He ends up using the battery overcharge in the main. He loses only 5 workers. MaxPax handling this chaos with poise. And he has crushed this attack. He's traded a few hundred resources better. Only lost 5 workers. And that was really very well done by MaxPax. Once those Marines get passed into your natural in main, they can kill workers so quickly. But MaxPax responded very fast. Third Command Center is building. It's going to be finished in a moment. 4th and 5th barracks are on the way. Phoenix there. They see the Widowmine drop and they go, no, naughty boy. Clem has to stim over to defend it. There is a probe up there watching. And he captures him. Clem doubles back in the same direction, thinking he'll surprise him. But MaxPax doubles back as well. Catches the Widowmine drop, shaves off some Marines with the Colossus. This Zealot says, for the greater good. Sacrifices his life, takes a Widowmine to the face, and allows the army to chase him down. Phoenix are going to get rid of the Viking if they want to commit. They don't want to chase into the Marine fire. Good choice by MaxPax, who's on the warpath right now, chasing Clem to his side of the map. Phoenix, though, does lose one of them, but the pickups kind of force him to stay. Oh, another Phoenix does go down. Okay, that's 5 total Phoenix dead in this game. He's got 5 out with a 6th building. 5 more gateways are on the way, +1. Where is the Twilight upgrade, though, guys? MaxPax thinks he made charge, but he didn't have the money when he clicked it, guys. I'm telling you, for everything else he's doing, Templar Archives, extra gases, he's got 8 gateways, he's going to warp in Zealots at some point, and hopefully when they move, he realizes. Let's go to MaxPax's camera viewpoint and see when he realizes, because forgetting charge can lose you games. There's nothing like having 20 Zealots in an army, and as the fight starts, realizing, hey, these guys are walking very slow. He just sent a Zealot run by off. He didn't realize, though. He was looking elsewhere. Phoenix harassing. He's going to go back and pick up those Marines. Put that Marine potentially. Zealots. There's slow Zealots on screen. He doesn't notice again. He was looking at the building placement. This is the thing. Pro Gamer's eyes are moving very quickly across the screen. You know, he's looking at the minimap half the time. He's making Archons rather than Zealots in his main army, which means there's even less chance of noticing. He looks at the Zealot after. There we go. He realizes, okay, MaxPax, it dawns on him that he did forget charge. He starts it up, and it looks like with no army coming in from Clem, like no big attack impending, I think he'll be fine. But definitely a scary moment for MaxPax if you forgot that. Going up to 10 gateways behind this. 4th base comes up. MaxPax looking rock solid. Now, Clem has ghosts. 2nd engineering bay, armory. So he's going to go for the double upgrades. 5 barracks, a factory, a starport can get you pretty far as a Terran, especially with that 4th command center on the way. I do expect him to add 3 more barracks in the near future as his ghost count is growing. That's costing a lot of money right now, as will the 2-2. 2nd forge on the way for MaxPax. Widowmine cleaning up a Zealot on the left. Zealot on the tower goes down. There is an observer here. If Clem can get rid of that, that's going to do a lot to really limit MaxPax vision. But right now, that observer gives MaxPax a lot of comfort because he's like, yeah, you're just clearing the tower. You're not actually wanting to attack. Oh, the Vikings catch the prism in the bottom, guys. Guys, we've seen that before. We've seen that exact same move before. Was it Clem versus MaxPax as well? I feel like, oh my gosh, I feel like I've seen that. I don't think it was this series. Surely it wasn't this series. I remember seeing, maybe it was, I tuned in at the end of this series and saw that. But the Vikings anticipating the prism, moving to intercept Clem, God tier gamer, apparently with some sort of spidey sense. This series was from just a week ago, from the day I'm casting it, and yet I felt like I saw that weeks and weeks ago. Maybe it was just such an exciting moment, but maybe Clem's done that a few times. I feel like he did it at Atlanta, didn't he? It was an Overlord drop from Serral. Exact same position on this map, wasn't it? It was Overlord drop. Serral was coming in with an Overlord drop of Lurkers. Clem moved his Vikings down and intercepted it. Okay, it wasn't Deja Vu. It was not a Prism. It was an Overlord drop. And a lot of people were shouting like hacker or something, or he can hear the commentators in the chat because they couldn't understand that with that Roach build that Serral was doing, he always follows it up with a Lurker drop, and that Clem's played against him enough that he had that memorization down. He knew when to look for it. Zealots coming in. Really nice harassment here for MaxPax. Looks like, yeah, I like this. Look at this, guys. Even with the planetary up and the Widowmines, getting a few SCVs, very nicely done. Just being annoying. Couple Zealots here and there, not a big deal. 5th base is going up in the top left. That rich gas base, quite valuable if you can establish it. Zealot drop goes in the natural. Viking and Ghost. Remember, the Warp Prism gave him a lot of trouble in game 1. Clem is like, I'm not having that happen again. There's no way. I'm surprised. Yeah, he's got 2 turrets on the bottom, a floating factory. He can always build a turret there if that prism tries to come back in. He's hunting. Oh, he's hunting it. Dude, such good focus. He's going to get rid of that prism. Back on the front, the armies are skirmishing. Looks like an EMP might have landed. The Vikings take out a Phoenix. Oh, it's time for the Viking bullying to happen. Clem's got 123 army supply. There's only 3 disruptors out. One of the Colossus goes down. There's only 5 Phoenix left. Another Colossus dangerously low. It falls as well. Uh-oh. MaxPax was doing so good this game. He does have the double robo here, but no Dark Templar distractions, no Warp Prism distractions. Clem can focus just right here, right now, on the middle of the map, on the army fights as they go down. Marine Marauder Ghost going forward. They pull back. They do pull back there a little bit. Watch out for the disruptor shot. It does land, getting a few Marines and a Ghost. There's lots of disruptor shots. Clem's waiting for him to run out. He accidentally loads up into a medevac. He starts unloading. He goes in. He goes out. His Vikings take out the Colossi. His Bio take a few hits there, but he's also getting some pretty darn decent trades. 3,000 resources, 3,500 even. Better than MaxPax. MaxPax defends his economy, and that's good because he can rebuild. However, if Clem just keeps trading like that, he's got 4 command centers on the way. Clem is looking great. He's got a fusion core building as well, plus 2 ship weapons. Does he have 2 star? Yeah, he's got 2 starports with reactors. I mean, he's pumping medevacs at this moment, which might seem weird, but he's only got 5. You've got to keep that medevac healing high. Vikings are going to land. Normally, Clem sends its Vikings. Oh, he picks up. Does take a disruptor shot of the Marine Marauder Ghost, though. Even though the Vikings avoid it, another unit gets hit by that disruptor. Does take out a sentry. Now, remember, he's got 12 Viking 76 workers, so not that much actual army supply for Clem. His bio army is a bit smaller than normal. And, oh, he walks into a disruptor shot. Clem getting a bit antsy here, trying to close the distance. It's always a fine line between walking into the disruptors and punishing the Protoss player. Clem usually narrowly walks that line so very well. but Clem's disruptor shots are never ending, and they are finding the occasional Marauder or Ghost. That damage does stack up. Clem is on 8 barracks. He's got a lot of units here building. He's going to have to come back. MaxPax pushing very confidently. It's interesting that he feels confident pushing in here. He could get flanked from the left. This could be a huge mistake for MaxPax. Disruptor shots go out on the left. The Bio army coming in from the north. Oh, the Bio getting pushed back by the Disruptor. It doesn't feel like there's that much Bio, more coming in from the south. Where is the rest of Clem's army? It's all in Vikings. It's all in Vikings, and MaxPax just runs away, throws the Disruptors to cover his retreat. A wise choice. There's no Prism here, so why would you fight on the front? There's no reason to. Finally, one of the Disruptors goes down, but he's still got 7 active, and he keeps MaxPax, or Clem, sorry, at bay. Only 2,000 resources lost difference between the two now. 5th base is up for Clem, but Clem needs to get that army size back up. He's lost most of the Vikings now. He's got to replace it with BioLib, and he's got to watch out. That's a big Protoss army coming forward. MaxPax is pushing in right now while he has a 20 army supply advantage. Clem needs another minute to get army out. He's not building Bio right now. Guys, Clem's doing such a good job on his upgrades. He's finally remembered concussive shells after all this time. I didn't realize he'd forgotten it. But his Bio is actually not producing as fast as it could out of 8 barracks. That is something to mention. He could be building 5 Marauders right now. He has a lot of Tech Lab barracks, but he's only building 2 Marauders, 5 Marines at a time. So his Bio production's actually missing. He's making sensor towers and the like, but Clem's money is a little low. He's having to use all of his orbital energy on scans, which means none for mules. And despite having 75 workers and almost 3k minerals a minute, those DTs are now stacking up. He's been so distracted on the front. Microing, MaxPax is keeping him so busy. The Dark Templar, but wait, the Widow Mines! The Widow Mines get some big hits. Is it enough though? No, the Planetary is not shooting the damaged DTs. It goes down, massive move. Prism flies in, turret takes it out in the south, but the Blink's gonna be enough. He's gonna take out the Planetary. The repair was a bit too slow there for Clem. Clem getting hit on all sides. Disruptor clipping his army. MaxPax gets another few Marauders. Orbital starting to fall on the left side as well. Oh god, Clem is in panic right now. Clem's army got outnumbered, and he took a bit too long to rebuild the army. He was focusing on all the little late game pieces. He just didn't realize that MaxPax could push in here. He's been so used to just crushing MaxPax in late game battles that he got a bit cocky, and he really underestimated how much he needed to focus on queuing up more Marines, Marauders, and Ghosts. And oh, the Bio! Oh my god! He eats a big Disruptor shot. He does take out like 4 Disruptors though, gets an Observer, has to back away from that one. He has killed a total of 7 Disruptors in this game. There are only 4 on the map right now, but right now Clem's army is kind of in dribs and drabs all over the shop. It's hard to defend with these units. There's DTs hitting the top left at the same time right now. He's trying to hang on to this base location, trying to retake it. MaxPax army is not that big. Only a handful of Stalkers and Immortals pushing in right now. Disruptor shot lands on some of these. Another Disruptor shot gets cancelled. That one gets shut down as well. Clem with a nice punish, but he lost a bunch more SCVs there. Zealots and DTs coming in. 14 workers went down, continuing to find more damage. Clem finally clears up the right side of the map, but at what cost? He is way behind in economy. And similar to map 1, another slightly early leave, but you could tell things weren't going his way. MaxPax had 6 bases. MaxPax had 2,400 minerals a minute. MaxPax had an insane income of like 3 times the minerals, and I don't think he was going to come back from that. Because even though his army supply is similar, by the time he moves across the map, I mean, this is not that scary a force. It's a handful of Marines, Marauders, a couple Ghosts with no energy. There's going to be defense for it ready. MaxPax with a 3-0, looking fantastic today. Getting under Clem's skin with Dark Templar harass, great Disruptor usage on the front, and just beautiful cycling of his army in and out to keep the pressure on Clem. GG, well played.